we've had on Strength Happens. April is known as Autism Awareness Month, but we wanted to honor it in a way that goes way beyond awareness and into real stories, real experiences, and real impact. Because behind every diagnosis is a family navigating challenges, creating opportunities, and redefining what strength really looks like.
In today's conversation, you're going to hear about advocacy in action. We're going to talk about what it looks like to push for change when systems fall short. You'll hear the reality of parenting, the moments that stretch you as parents, and the ones that truly shape you. And most importantly, you'll hear about independence and possibility, what it means to build a life filled with purpose, contribution, and pride. Today, we've invited a mother and son whose story reflects all of that and more, and we truly cannot wait for you to hear that from them.
So, welcome back to Strength Happens, the podcast where we share real stories of resilience, parenting, and what it actually looks like to navigate when things don't go as planned.
As we step into Autism Awareness Month, there's a lot of conversations happening, but not always a lot of understanding. And what we've realized is that awareness alone just isn't enough. People need connection. They need real stories. They need to hear directly from the families that are living this every day. This episode is for the caregivers who are navigating something unexpected, the parents who are trying to advocate for their child in a system that always isn't created for them in mind, and also for anyone who wants to better understand, support, and show up for these families in their own community.
And because the more we share these stories, the more we create space for inclusion, for change, and for possibility. And this conversation feels especially close to home for me because we actually met through a local moms group here in the community. And we just started talking and we realized our worlds overlapped and overlapped in a really meaningful way. Our kids, Dalton and Morgan, would likely be in the same classes, and we were both navigating life as moms of children with autism and special needs. And it was one of those moments where you just feel an instant connection because there's an understanding there that doesn't always need a lot of explanation.
Well, we're so grateful to share today with everybody on Autism Awareness Month. And we're welcoming Caryn and her son Dalton to the show. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
would love to start with you, Caryn, if you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your family.
Absolutely. I'm Karen Reddy. I've been married to my husband, Charlie, for 32 years.
Woo!
We've lived in this area for 24 years. Our
Nice.
son, Dalton, is 27, and our daughter, Alyssa, is 24. Dalton was diagnosed with autism around 3 to 4 years old, and it was more of he has tendencies towards autism. So it wasn't like a definite um, diagnosis, but we went along with that and started treatment for him as far as like speech therapy, occupational therapy.
Mhm.
That's kind of started back then when he was little.
Awesome, awesome.
I love that you're here today, that both of you can share your experiences from the early years all the way to now, because that's a lot of what we do on a day to day here. And
Yes,
it's been really nice to get to know you through Mom's Club. That's how we originally connected. And
exactly.
seeing how much of an impact you've proven that you're someone that doesn't just talk about change, you're actually
Mhm.
creating change. And we're excited to really get into that today.
Thank
Yes, yes, we're super excited. We're also excited to meet Dalton. Dalton, I see you over there on the side. We would love to hear from you. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, Dalton?
Well, I want to let everyone here know that I work for Publix and I've worked there for almost 8 years
Wow.
coming this November, and I am a produce clerk at Publix. And I am an athlete leader for Special Olympics. I've been an athlete
Oh,
leader for almost 3 years, and I've also been a global messenger for almost 2 years. And I've been the chairperson for my area's athlete leadership council for almost a year.
that's
You sound
so
quite accomplished.
exciting.
Yes, and 2 of the biggest things that boosted my popularity were the Global Messenger training in Orlando and joining the bowling team for Plant City Crew at Oakfield Lanes. And at the Global Messenger training in Orlando, 3 of the biggest connections I made with were a nice young lady who lives in Pembroke Pines, and two really cool guys, one who lives in Orlando and one who lives in Gainesville. And I also made connections with some of the guys on my bowling team as well.
Holy cow, Dalton, you are famous all over the state.
I am.
Awesome. You're gonna have to share with us a few pictures of you
Mm,
and some of your crew so we can share those on our blog and on our story. So
absolutely.
Yes.
while we're a podcast, we get to see your amazing face, but we'd love the rest of the world to see you as well.
Thank you.
What would you say some of your favorite things to do outside of work?
Um, my favorite things to do. So I have a trampoline I jump
Mm,
on. I like to go for nice walks. I also play 5 different sports for Special Olympics. I do
Holy
tennis,
cow.
bowling, golf, bocce, and cornhole.
wow.
Oh, can I ask what your favorite sport is?
My number one favorite sport is golf. I have gotten
Mm,
2 gold medals at 2 different
holy
state
moly.
competitions. First for skills, and then the second one was for 9 hole.
Congratulations.
Wow.
I've
Thank
tried
you.
golf before and I know how hard that is. I'm super impressed.
Yes, it's hard.
Karen, do you play golf?
Occasionally, but
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, very
So
seldom.
I was just about to ask Dalton, where do you think you get your athleticism from? Are you an athlete, but from your mom or your dad, do you think more?
Neither.
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 I
I
don't know where
appreciate
you
your
get it.
honesty.
Yeah, no, it doesn't run in the family.
That's a Dalton strength, it sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome.
That's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you sharing with us, Dalton, all of the things that you're involved in. And we'll definitely get into that more a little bit later. And Karen, as a mom, hearing him talk and seeing all the independence that he's been able to build, it
Yes.
really puts into perspective how important support and understanding are in everyday situations. And I know that's something that must have led you to take action here in Florida with the driver's license initiative. Can you
Yes.
tell us how you came to the conclusion that that was something that was needed?
Yeah, so my husband's the one that kind of pushed for Dalton to be more independent and learn to drive. I was, of course, a little bit skeptical and worried about the other drivers on the road, but he Dalton decided a little later than usual, like he decided he was ready to learn
Hmm.
and went to driving school. So I looked into the DMV to see if there was anything to add to his license. So if he had gotten into an accident, got pulled over, at
Right.
least law enforcement would know right away, or if he was acting odd, they would understand he
Mm.
has a disability. And the only thing they offered was and putting it on an ID card. So that did
Oh.
and of course they couldn't just add it on. It has to be a bill. So
Oh.
that's how it all came into play, is that I'm like, well, he's going to be driving on the road. Something needs to be on the license. And I figured it was something fairly easy to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. You do. You think it's just a letter or a little indicator, but
Exactly.
I was
apparently,
like, are those famous last words? Was it as easy as you hoped for?
The actually putting it on was easy. The process to get it put on was very challenging because nobody really cared about doing it. I mean, yeah,
so you just had to find some like a representative that would stand behind it and
well,
bring it forward.
I drew out my proposal. It was pretty basic, just finding something on the license that could be put on there. I really sent it out to a lot of different organizations and representatives. Sent it out to CARD, which is the Center for
Yep.
Autism and Related Disabilities. Autism Speaks. I sent it out to representatives in our area and in Tallahassee, and everyone pretty much rejected, basically saying,
Really?
either it can't be done, or, contact so and so. They Nobody really wanted to take on the idea.
Because it
Mm,
didn't
So
impact them.
exactly.
Hmm.
And actually a local representative here has basically said, "Oh, somebody tried and it didn't work. So, see
Really?
you later."
Well,
And yeah, it's kind of a little disappointing. But so really what happened was I loved Sheriff Grady Judd, and I sent my proposal to him,
that was a
and
good
a
idea.
couple weeks later his secretary called and said he wants to meet Dalton and I. He wants to
Wow.
talk about the proposal.
so exciting.
So I was like in awe. But,
Because
so
someone's finally listening to you.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So we went to his office,
Yeah.
took, like, an hour out of his time, and he
Yes.
talked to me, talked to Dalton for quite a bit,
Oh, nice.
very personable, and just kind of was surprised that it was not available for a license, like,
Mm.
he didn't know, but he was surprised that it wasn't already offered. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, this definitely needs to be something that needs to be done." So we left the meeting. He contacted us and said he found a state representative, which was Josie
Oh,
Tomko, that was going to take on the bill. And she was out of Polk County as well.
Mhm.
awesome.
And so that's how it all started. Thank goodness for Sheriff Grady Judd, Dalton's hero,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Oh,
he was willing to listen and he was willing
Mhm.
to see that it passed.
that's
Well,
so
he saw the
exciting.
importance in his community, it sounds like.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and so it just very appreciative that he took the time to listen and understood what I was looking for, and it worked.
Why do you think there were so many barriers to get people to listen? Like, why do you think it took so many people saying no before one person said yes?
I mean, it could be something that it doesn't affect them, so they
Mhm.
don't really see it as a need, or they're
Mhm.
just so busy in what they're doing with their work. It could be any number of things, but it really just takes the right person to say, yes, this is something we do need
Mhm.
for our community. And more people with disabilities are driving, believe it or
Yeah.
not. So
Yes,
it and it's very important. So when law enforcement does connect with somebody that has a disability, they are more understanding that they need to treat it differently. And they are getting training at work to learn how to deal with people with disabilities, not in a bad way, but just in a different way.
just an awareness of how to
Yeah.
communicate.
Yes.
I love that because I'm so impressed by the work you're doing and you've done because as a mom with 2 kiddos driving who are in college, I just worry enough about them driving on the road. So I can't
Yes.
imagine having that extra layer
Mhm.
of concern. Was there a specific moment or experience where you realized this has to change that pushed you to find the right person or to reach out to Grady Judd or keep moving forward?
It was really just knowing Dalton is gonna be out there driving, and nobody really pays attention to the road anymore. I was more
I
worried
know.
about the other drivers than Dalton driving. He's a very good driver, very
Yeah.
cautious. So, it was just a matter of having that extra safety net of the awareness, or if
Mhm.
he was brought to the hospital, that could be passed along to emergency medical staff that,
Mhm.
if he was unconscious or, just very stressed out over a situation, that they would be able to realize that.
Immediate recognition.
Yeah, so that was really my main goal at the time, and I wasn't willing to give up very easily.
I love that. You're
Well,
my kind of
I do.
mom.
Thank you.
Mama bear.
Yes.
Do you feel like the experience changed you going from a parent navigating the system to someone who actually helped change it?
I'm just very grateful, very happy that it passed. It was a very exciting time.
Mm,
Actually drove to Tallahassee several times during the process because
mm,
it goes through a lot of steps to get passed. But we went up, I think, 3 times to Tallahassee?
No, two.
2? We went up 2 times? I couldn't
mhm,
remember. One towards the beginning and one towards the end. I'm just happy that it actually passed, and they gave me Josie Tomko's office. They actually gave me a replica of the bill that's
Oh.
signed by Governor DeSantis, so that's really cool, and we have it hanging. It's just a reminder that somebody did care, and it is something that protects
mhm,
anybody with a disability that wants to put the designation D
mhm.
for disability on their license.
I
Now
think
that
it
that's
shows
oh, go ahead. You go first, Jenny.
your perseverance and that you are willing to, against all odds,
Exactly.
make sure that something that was very important to you and your family, and knowing that it was going to help other families. It
Yes,
wasn't just it's all about you. You also were thinking about the community and the needs of the community.
exactly. Yes, absolutely.
And now that that is actually in place in the state of Florida, what do you think this change means for individuals with autism or other disabilities and their families who are drivers now?
Well, it's just a peace of mind that there is this in place. Now, you don't have to put it on there. It is
Mm,
voluntary. So somebody has a disability but doesn't want to add the designation D, that's totally up to them. It's only $1 to, so like Dalton already had his license, so we
Yeah.
paid the dollar to have it added, or you can do it when you're getting your license if you want to
Mhm.
have it on there. But like I said, it's only $1, so it's really cost effective and it's a peace of mind.
Love that.
How long would you say it took to actually go from when you first thought of the idea to actually completing and having the bill signed? Because I think a lot of people have no idea how long that process really is.
Oh, it took like 2 years to actually find somebody to listen to
Wow.
from
Wow.
by the time I wrote
Good for you.
I was trying to email everybody and anybody, and even, like, if they say, "Oh, well, contact this company or this agency or this person," I
Mhm.
did it, and of course, it just kinda trickled. But,
Mm.
it was, like,
Wow.
2 years from the time I wrote the proposal to the time we met up with Sheriff Judd.
Mhm.
And then the process to was what, another 2 years?
I think
Or
I'll
'cause
remember.
it was signed in 2020, so it's been a while.
Mhm.
But it just, and of course, with the COVID
Yeah,
hit,
just everything
Little
added, but
delay
a
still,
in the
little delay,
system.
but
yeah,
it was a long process.
that is
Now,
a long time.
if I had reached out to Sheriff Judd initially in the very beginning, it definitely would have cut down on all the time spending trying to find somebody to listen.
Yeah.
So that
I
really
think
made a
that's the
difference.
biggest hurdle too, is just
Yes,
finding someone who wants to work with you and
Mhm.
listen to why it's an
exactly.
issue for you and your family.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And I've talked to a couple different law enforcement officers who were not aware of the designation D, but they had positive feedback saying that is a great idea and they were glad
Mhm.
that it was passed and put on a license if somebody wanted it.
Well, we're
Mm.
hoping this podcast can help get the word out so other drivers in the state of Florida and law enforcement in the state of Florida are aware of this designation so that we can get more people
Absolutely.
utilizing the service.
That would be wonderful. Yes.
I'm in Connecticut, and I was sharing with some friends up here who have children on the autism spectrum, and they're like, "We need that in Connecticut, so we need to get
Yes.
your story out
Really.
there."
Absolutely. It does definitely needs to be out in every state, I
Yeah.
believe.
Do you know how many states have it other than Florida?
I do not.
That might be
I
something worth
I
Googled
don't
it.
either.
I was Google looking at stuff, but I didn't there were a couple, but there weren't a
I
lot.
don't think that many, yes, which I'm very surprised
Yeah.
nowadays.
How does it feel to be like, one of the trailblazers, you and Dalton and your family making that big change for drivers?
Feels pretty good.
It should.
Yes, it is. It's a good feeling that it is something that somebody could easily put on the license and know that it will be known if needed. And had people say, "You just put a sticker on the car saying he has autism." And I'm like, "I don't wanna display it. It's
Right.
nobody's business because then you
Right.
go to
Exactly.
Target." For
Exactly.
so I that was not an option for me.
But I bet it was someone that didn't have a child with, you know,
Most likely
disability or
didn't
they don't
exactly, so,
understand it.
yeah, I wanted it to be discreet but known.
So powerful, so powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is kind of a big question, so feel free to answer it in any way. What would you say to another parent who sees a problem that is impacting their child, but may feel overwhelmed or unsure of how to start a positive change like you found?
It can be very overwhelming, it could be frustrating, it could be, just nobody wants to listen, but I say don't give up. Just keep reaching
Mm.
out to different organizations, different people, representatives, anybody and everybody until you find somebody that's actually willing to listen.
Mm.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't have thought to even contact CARD or Autism Speaks. I wouldn't have thought to do those. Even the sheriff,
Right.
I think too, that was totally left field.
Wow. Do you live in Polk County or?
We do not. We live in Hillsborough, but I see him on the news and he's just amazing. Like
Yeah. He's
he
very vocal and supportive of his
that's
community.
why I
Yeah,
we
that was a great
we like
idea.
Yes.
Grady. Yes,
Yeah.
he's just an amazing person, and he stands for what's right, and he stands for justice for people, and that's where I think he took this on, saying, "Yes, this is something that people with disabilities need to have," and it was an easy fix. It was just amazing. Yes.
I think that's a great lesson because sometimes We think the most traditional routes, contacting agencies or contacting politicians, but sometimes it's contacting the person who's already out in front of people who wants
Mm,
to see positive change, and you did that.
Absolutely.
So that's a
right.
great
Absolutely.
life lesson.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
One
Yep.
thing we've noticed is that so many parents in this space do become innovators out of necessity, whether it's creating opportunities or starting businesses or advocating change, not just for their child, but their whole community.
Yeah. And that kind of what led us to you. Yeah, we were talking about being Autism Awareness Month and what's something different we could do instead of just focusing on what autism is. It's so much more than that. It's the community and the individual and the families and everyone. So that's what brought us to, you know what? I have a friend,
I know
Karen.
that.
It's always been in the back of my mind because for me with Morgan, she won't ever drive. But to me, that was really impactful knowing that another parent felt strongly about something that they thought needed to change and they were able to make that change. I admired that. I thought that was pretty
Thank
cool.
you. Yes, it was definitely very rewarding, and, it does, it helps the community, and like
Mhm.
I said before, there are a lot of drivers that do drive that have some sort of disability, not just physical,
Right.
so it was something that was needed, it was an easy way to go about it, and it got it done,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
right?
sure did.
My buddy, my team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got good teammates.
Yes.
Yes.
And it sounds like it empowered Dalton to be more independent.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
Dalton, we would love to come back to you and ask you a couple more questions if
Yes,
you're up
ma'am.
for it.
I sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you enjoy working at Publix?
Well, I enjoy putting out the produce items like the cold stuff or the dry goods,
Mhm.
and I also enjoy interacting with customers and with my coworkers.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Do you have a favorite part of your
Um,
job?
no, I don't. Actually, I don't. I like everything about my job
Oh. Oh, I love
pretty
that.
much. Actually, I just recently switched stores like a little bit more than a month ago, almost 2
Mm.
months ago.
That's why I haven't been seeing you lately.
Yeah.
I see how Dalton loves his job. He seems always very happy, and I would see him around the stores, and you could really see you're a really hard worker. And it's
Yes,
amazing to see you take pride,
thank you.
and it looks like Publix is seeing that you take pride in your work, and they do a good job.
Yes, they do.
I
What
had
store are you at?
oh, I'm sorry.
Is it far?
It's the one on Bloomingdale and Bell
Oh,
Shoals right up the road.
oh yeah,
Oh,
very
you're good.
cool.
Now Janine's gonna start going to that one just to get
Yeah,
Dalton's
just so I
ID.
can say, yeah. Just like
He would love it. Yes.
Yes.
Can I ask Dalton what you if you enjoy driving?
Yes, I actually do.
Nice.
nice to have the independence. I know that some energy also goes into Special Olympics, and you've already shared the events that you've competed in. What about any special awards you've received
Well,
or accomplishments?
I got my 2 gold medals in state golf. I've also gotten a gold medal in state bocce and a silver medal in state cornhole last year, and I've got all like tons of medals.
Wow.
What would you say to someone who might be interested in trying out for Special Olympics but has never been an athlete before?
I would recommend it to them because I think it's a great organization and you can make connections with other athletes both locally and statewide.
It's impressive. I
Mm,
wish I was as athletic. I'm just not there yet. But this is making me wanna try a new sport, try
Oh,
Right?
something different.
Yeah, Special Olympics is amazing. There's like different sports for the season. So you can do multiple sports. Usually he'll do one at a time. He's
mm,
done two at a time in the same season, as long as they don't compete at the end on the same weekend. It's definitely been a really nice transition when he started doing Special Olympics. He's met some nice friends and you can try a sport. You don't have to worry about being the best. You just do go out there
mm,
and everybody supports the athletes and there's very amazing volunteers that it's just overwhelming how many volunteers go into
yeah.
it and very appreciative.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've done Special Olympics with Morgan Newsom. And then we've done 1 or 2 where we went to another high school. She just threw a tennis ball and walked like 50 yards, but she seemed to enjoy it and she would smile
Yes,
and even the local kids in the high school come out and support.
they do. It's very neat to see, and, if anyone is out there that wants to volunteer, Special Olympics is great.
Mm.
They're always looking for volunteers.
Now, Dalton, do you have any goals on trying another sport?
I haven't about anything yet, but maybe that could potentially be works in the future, and I'll look and see what sports there are,
Mhm.
'cause I've done 5 so far.
That's impressive. Do you guys get to travel with Special Olympics or is it mostly local events?
Oh, I've gotten to travel many times with Special Olympics.
Yeah,
Most of our events that are statewide are in Orlando.
Nice.
that's if they get to state. The
Oh,
practices are all local,
It's area, and then
regional.
we've got for state cornhole, we've gone to Ocala.
Okay,
mhm.
yeah. So, other than that, yeah, we haven't gone out, like, out of state to travel.
Nope.
What season is next?
Um, Bowling is next.
Bowling? Oh, air conditioning.
Yeah. Ex
Yes.
You read my
Summers in
mind.
Florida.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
love it. Is
Yeah.
there anything, Karen or Dalton, that you would like to share with our audience that we haven't asked you or that you'd like to share?
Just if you have an idea, stick with it. Don't give up. Find the right person that will help, which I did, thank goodness. And it's very rewarding. And I'm glad that it's out there for people that would want to
Mhm.
utilize the designation D for disability. There was one more thing. So I just recently found out when I looked on the DMV that now you can add the license plate, you could add that as well so that it can show that the person has a disability. So that's even the first step really when if you got pulled over that
Mm.
the officer runs a tag and
Oh,
it will
before
pop
they
up.
even get your driver's
Oh.
license.
It was discussed briefly when we were doing the driver's license by Representative Tomko, but then I never really heard anything else about it, so I didn't think it was a thing until
Well,
yesterday.
you're the one that drove them to
Exactly, but
expanding
I
a little bit
didn't.
more.
Yeah, so but I was excited and I did print out the paperwork, which we are going to do, and a very easy step for either the license or the tag. It's just a piece of paper that you fill out, either the driver or guardian or parent, and then a doctor has to sign off on it, and then you
Mhm.
bring that to the DMV. It's really an easy process.
Yeah.
It sounds like and it's such an important process. It is allowing for young
Yes.
people and all ages who are driving to have independence when living with a disability, and just having, as you said earlier, an extra safety measure put in place if they were to get pulled over in an accident. So,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
the work you're doing has been phenomenal, and the impact, I don't even think you have an idea of what impact that is gonna have in the state of Florida for the years to come. So, congratulations on that. I'm so impressed, and we're
Thank
just so
Thank you.
grateful
Mm.
for
Yeah.
you and Dalton and your family, because
No
I'm sure it's a
problem.
group
No
effort.
problem. It sure is.
So, I love this. I love this. We're so glad you both shared with us today. We're so thankful to hear more about Dalton's work at Public. So, if anyone's out there, you can give a shout out to Dalton when he's working.
He can pick out some produce for you.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Or if you're out at Special Olympics, you might see him in cornhole, bowling, or golf. And Karen, we're just excited that you were willing to come share your story of advocacy that has led to huge change in the state of Florida. And it's my hope that we see that change across the country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us. And
Mhm.
hopefully, this will get the word out to more people that actually will utilize the
Mhm.
designation D. And that's what needs to take place next is really getting the word out. So,
Mm.
thank you both.
Well, we will help you do that.
April is certainly the month for us to start pushing this out and getting your awareness raised for not just autism, but also for the change you're making for the autism community.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank
it. Hope we didn't take too
you.
Thank
much of
you.
your time today. As we wrap up, we want to take a moment to reflect on everything that was shared today and why it matters to our listeners.
Well, there is so much to unpack from that conversation with Dalton and his mom. Everything from Dalton talking about his working at Publix, which is a grocery store in the Southeast, as well as his extensive involvement in the Special
Yeah.
Olympics. So much leadership and activism that he's doing within Special Olympics, and the pride he takes in the work he's doing, in the leadership he's doing, as well as the accomplishments that he's achieved over the years. It really shows what independence and determination and joy can look like in real life
Mhm.
with a young person living with a diagnosis of autism. And his mom, Caryn, and her story reminds us so much that advocacy doesn't have to be complicated. She kept saying it was so easy. It's so easy. And it was once she found the right people to help her in the
Right.
process. She talked about it starts with noticing a need, taking action, and creating a change that actually makes a difference.
Mhm.
And she's made that difference. And we hope that it will continue to make a difference in the state of Florida with driver's license for individuals with disabilities that can look up on the DMV how to get their driver's license highlighted with the D for disability, but also, as she said, she just found out yesterday that you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
your license plate as well, highlighting that. I think
Yeah.
for me, one of the biggest takeaways is how much possibility exists when families and finding those right
Mhm.
communities and systems come together for a common purpose. These stories show us that small steps, like supporting your child's interests and ambition and encouraging independence or speaking up for a change you see in the life of your family and how that can have a ripple effect far beyond anything you could imagine. And I think Caryn's seeing it's going to go far beyond anything she could imagine.
And that's exactly why we're sharing this episode during Autism Aware Month. It's actually our kickoff. And it's not just about awareness, it's about understanding, connection, and inspiration. Because these families are showing us what can happen when dedication, creativity, and heart come together.
Absolutely.
So, whether you're a parent navigating your own challenges, a friend, or a family member wanting to support someone with autism or special needs, or someone who believes in just making a difference, take a moment to think about how you can create opportunity, independence, and change in your own world.
Absolutely. And if this conversation resonated with you, feel free to share it with someone who may need to hear it. Follow our show on whatever platform you listen to podcasts. Check out our blog on the Hallie Grace Foundation website. And don't miss the next story in this series of autism awareness as we connect with other families who use their life experience to create a positive change. Because every voice, every effort, and every moment of advocacy matters. Thanks for joining us.
This is Strength Happens.